Hi, welcome to Nice Fire and Food, where we make extreme food extremely easy. My name is Dylan Starr, and today we're going to be making French onion soup. These are the ingredients you're going to need today. We're going to use some onions, some beef or French onion broth, white wine, garlic, Parmesan cheese, provolone cheese, and French bread. Let's go ahead and get all this stuff out of our way so we can start cutting our onions. What we want to do with French onion soup, because you're going to be cooking your onions for a really long time, is you want to have the best textural experience you possibly can. So what you want to do is cut each end of your onion off and peel your onion, and then cut through the ends like this. You don't want to cut it so that you have rings. Rings are bad, and I'll tell you why. Let me show you right here. Membranes. There's little membranes that go in between each vein of the onion, and what happens is when you cook it, it breaks down and it dissolves and it separates, so all you have are these little tiny pieces of onion, and that's icky in a French onion soup. You don't want to do that. You want to have nice, long, beautiful strips. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So you've cut your ends off, you've cut it through the end like this, set it on your cutting board just like that. Take your knife with a firm hold on it, and at a little bit of an angle, rock through the onion till you get to about here. Push everything aside, turn your onion over like this, and rock out the rest of it. And if you throw some onion on the floor like I do, don't worry about it. Your dog will love you for it. All right, so here we go. We've got these really cool, nice little strips. See, just like that. Do, 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 do. We have strips of onion. Yeah. We're gonna go ahead and put that in our soup. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna caramelize these in butter to bring out their natural sugars. Let's get that started. All right, we're totally ready to go ahead and cook up our onions and get them all caramelized and delicious for our soup. So we're gonna move over to the stove. What I started is some butter that I already have melted, and I'm gonna go ahead, it's a little hot, so I'm just gonna go like this and show you. I'm gonna swish around this butter. I like to make sure everything's nice and coated in the bottom. This is just a regular stick of unsalted butter. I prefer to use the unsalted because then they have to use fresher cream. At least that's the rumor I heard in culinary school. I don't know, I could be wrong. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and throw my onions in. I have a variety of onions here. I have white onions, red onions, and a sweet Vidalia yellow onion. These are my favorites. I also like to add leek, but make sure you rinse it really good. Otherwise you'll get grit in your soup, and that's never good. Okay, so I know that this pan looks full, but that's okay because as onions cook, they reduce down. And what I like to do is I like to keep my fire between a medium high, about a medium high to a medium. So at least for the beginning part, once you get most of your onions reduced down, you can go ahead and turn down the heat to warm, and you can walk around your house, do whatever you want, just let the onions sit there on warm. And let me show you what the result of doing that is. Beautiful, perfectly caramelized onions. Let me grab my hot pad and I can show you a little closer. Take a look at those. Aren't those gorgeous? They are so nice. Back right there. Okay. These are the most perfect onions for French onion soup. I've been cooking them for about an hour and a half to get them to this color. And what I do is about halfway through my cooking process, I'll add my garlic, so that way I'm bringing out its natural sugars but not burning it at the same time. And I let that go for a really, really long time, stirring frequently. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get this up to a nice hot temperature so we can deglaze the whole pan with white wine. Because what white wine does is it removes all the fond from the bottom of your pan, but also gives it a really nice flavor. It adds a little acid to the soup, which balances out the sweetness of the onions. I can hear a little sizzle. Let's throw in some white wine. All right, so we'll just go ahead and stir that in, let the white wine reduce, cook the alcohol out. Once you get to that point, and it happens really, really fast. Look how fast it's going away. It's already almost gone. And it smells awesome. Garlic, onions, and white wine, perfect combination, let me tell you what. Perfect combination. Oh yeah, those smell great, they're looking perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and throw in my broth really fast. And you can always cook this whole soup right here in this small pan. You don't need to have a big saucepan. You don't need to transfer. You don't need to do anything like that. Now, I personally use the French onion soup base because it's vegan. And if I have a vegetarian friend come over, I don't have to worry about them being able to eat the food. You know, all I have to do is omit the cheese and it's perfect for them. There we go. Now you could make your own stock by roasting off veal bones and mixing them up with tomato paste and a bunch of aromatics called mirepoix, which is a ratio of 50% onions, 25% carrots, and 25% celery. I think that's too much work. Get a box. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and bring that up to temperature. We're going to go ahead and get it nice and hot, and then we can throw it in a bowl and stick it in our oven with our bread and our cheese. Okay, so what we're going to go ahead and do is put our soup in our bowl and get it garnished with the cheese and the bread so we can put it down in our broiler, which is kind of the fun part of making French onion soup. Traditional French onion soup was developed in France. It was a way to use up stale bread. So what you do is you just put a fair amount of your soup in here. I like to fill my bowl about, well, almost to the top, like maybe a ½ inch from the top. And I kind of like to let my bread get a little bit on the stale side. You know, let it dry out a little bit because it's going to soak up broth anyway and get soggy. So what I like to do is take 2 pieces, the flat ends, and kind of go like this, okay? So that way it'll fit in my bowl. And then here's my provolone cheese, delicious. Cover up the bread, and then some Parmesan. And you can get as liberal as you want with the cheese. Now, the more cheese you put on there, the longer it has to stay in the toaster. Now, if you have a toaster oven, you can toast this in your toaster oven. I do not have a toaster oven, so we're going to use my broiler, which is on the floor. Good times. All right, here's the fire. We're going to be putting our French onion soup under so that way it can caramelize. Now, everybody has different types of stoves. So mine's a gas stove. I was real picky about that when I got my house. So here we are. We've got this awesome tube of fire coming out, and I've always wanted to do this. Always, always, always. Fire! Fire in my stove. So what you want to do is look for where your fire location is going to be. Sometimes it's in the top of your stove. Sometimes it's in the bottom. And all we're going to do is we're going to take our delicious soup in a bowl, and we're going to stick it right there. That underneath it? Nope, not quite. That under, yep, just right like that. And we're going to keep an eye on it. We're going to shut the door and keep an eye on it. It'll be ready in about 2 minutes. This is one gorgeous French onion soup. We have perfectly caramelized cheese right on top of our bread. I am so excited to dig into this, but it is screaming hot. You want to wait for it to cool down, okay? Don't burn your tongue or you won't taste the deliciousness later. All right, this French onion soup is finished. It's delicious. It is perfect. Thank you for joining me. I'm Dylan Starr on Knives, Fire, and Food, where I bring you extreme food extremely easy. Check us out at knivesfireandfood.com if you have any questions, want to check out the recipe indexes, or, I don't know, look at my beautiful face on the internet. Have a good one.